Hey everybody, thank you for joining me for our Friday sketch video. And today's video is right here. It's from the Operation Right Home. They're no longer in existence, but the website is still there and you can actually see all the sketches. So I'll make sure to have a link down below. So the best part about using sketches like this in particular is that everything's already sized out for you. Now for mine, I did change. I'm using this paper from Pink Paisley, excuse me. And what I did was I created a base for my papers, and I changed the measurements just a little bit. I'm also going to be using the Altenew stamp set. This is me practicing off to the side, trying to make sure I can line everything up and make it look good. You can do the different colors for the cake. I love that they think about everything. You can even do something for the foil for the little container that the cupcake sits in. I did the last layer a little bit of embossing powder to give it a little bit of a shimmer. Okay, so that part I did off camera only because I like to make it more about the sketches. So I got everything pretty much cut out. On the sketch itself, if you go back to the beginning and pause it, the bottom edge had its corners rounded. So it looked like it was only the 1/4 inch, but I like the 1/2 inch. So I decided that that's what I was going to do with mine. So the base panel that I'm using, I went around all 4 sides. And then I even did it on the card base because I wanted the card to have that similar look all the way around. I could have just did the base, the piece that I'm going to build up the sketch on top of, and left the card plain, but I liked how this one turned out. So our pattern paper, the first one, I'm doing the same thing, going around all 4 sides, and we're going to go ahead and start layering everything up. And really, once you cut out all the pieces, as you know, you see in the sketch, the card itself comes together pretty quick. It really does. I think the longest part for me before making the video was figuring out which papers to use, because I knew I wanted to do a happy birthday card. I just wasn't sure what patterns to use. Now this one, just the top edge is actually along the rounded edge. Okay, so I only had to do the top corners for that, and I could have saved paper and not have that bottom piece go all the way to the top, but a lot of times for me, I do what makes sense in my brain at the time, and I really don't care, or it doesn't bother me that that paper is underneath the one I'm just putting down. Does that make sense? So as long as it creates what I'm looking for, that's all I care about in the moment. So now in the middle there was the black square that is behind where the sentiment is. I'm attaching that, making sure that it's even all around the 3 edges, so that way when I put the sentiment and that center strip, which is right there, right on top, it'll create that look like it's underneath. So we're just going to tape that up real quick. And I chose this one because I like the pop of yellow. I wanted that to kind of stand out a little bit, because you know, in the middle we're going to put another strip of paper. And what I did was, the square that we just put up that had all the what do you call it, like symmetric or the triangle patterns throughout, I took a strip of that and I'm going to put that through the middle, because if you go back and look at the sketch, that square piece is black and then there's a strip that's black. So in my mind I was like, well, I can make them the same pattern. And so we're just going to attach that right in the center. And I like it when it's, you know, just little strips. You just do to like 2 runs and you got plenty of tape. And then this goes right in the center. And then once we get that attached, we're going to go ahead and attach the sentiment right on top. So I grab my center matte piece and I'm taping up the white that's going to be for the center, you know, for our focal point. And on this one, I wound up stamping it twice. On the one side, it came up really light, so I just flipped it over and stamped it again, and I got, you know, one that I really liked, nice and crisp black. And I left that space so that way I can attach the cupcake to it. So what I'm going to do is just put a piece of foam tape at the top and the bottom. And I had that little piece that was left over, I just put onto the cupcake itself, but I needed just a little bit of a bigger piece for this one right here. So we just line it up and go ahead and press that down. And then once that's pressed down, I'm going to go ahead and take the cupcake, take the backing off of that, and then I'm putting on just slightly of an angle. And then the sentiment says, "Life is better with cupcakes," which I happen to agree. So now we're going to attach this to our base, our card base, and our card is done. Now you can always step this up. For me today, I'm leaving it right here. The little bit of embossing on the cupcake I think is really pretty and gives it a little bit of something something. But you could always add stickles, you could add Nouveau drops or sequins. There's all kinds of different things that you could do to a sketch or even a card like this. Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining me. And as you go through the pictures here, you can see up close that shimmer and the embossing on the cupcake. At the very end, I will have links to the last two sketch videos. And if you haven't subscribed already, just click on my photo and that'll allow you to subscribe to my channel. And then make sure you hit the bell so that way you get the alerts on whenever I'm uploading new content. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great weekend.